Hi, my name is Moshe Kindler, and I'm the publisher of The Jewish Link.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Kratz. I'm editor of The Jewish Link.
And you're on The Jewish Link Pitch Meeting Podcast.
Moshe, we have a very exciting guest today.
Yes, we do. I'm really excited. And actually, I wanted to have him on for quite some time.
Years, really, even though our podcast is only in its second year.
That's true.
So today we have Sheriff Anthony Cureton. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're looking forward. And actually, I've been spending a little bit of time with the sheriff recently. We had a really nice event in Fairlawn, and the sheriff is on the campaign trail, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, working hard in these 70 municipalities, and I think they said 2,700 miles.
Wow.
I want you to know, I've always been blown away by how many municipalities Bergen County has.
Yeah. 70 towns.
Yeah, we're quite unique. Passaic County, 13 towns, and I believe Essex County about the same. So
Bergen's just different, right? Just
it's different.
I know some of the history, but we're not going to get into it. But you're the sheriff of a very interesting county, that's for sure.
Nearly 1 million, very diverse.
That's for sure.
But I think I was recollecting that I had come into contact with you at least 6 years ago, closer to 7, before you ran for sheriff in the first place, when you were the president of the NAACP. Was that Bergen County?
Bergen County, yes.
Right. And it was a very interesting moment in Bergen County, and it was a really special time to have allies from the Jewish community and the Black community working together, and it was amazing because you were out in front saying hate has no home in Bergen County in Mawa during that crazy Eruv debate that I don't even know what happened to it eventually. They got sued, so eventually it went away, but it was really special, and it showed like the power of allyship. And it was really, I don't know, it was a positive moment for me, and I never forgot your name. I don't even think I took your phone number out of my phone. And when you won your election, I think I texted you.
I don't know. That moment right there, it was special, but it's also understanding culturally what we all going through when it comes to people attacking one another for our various reasons. So that was special to heart, and I have to give Michael Cohen a lot of credit, right? Because I followed it. But he brought it to me more in depth, and we sat down, and I said, okay, let's do this. NAACP, I represent everybody, so we're going to put these 5 initiatives on this and hopefully get our point across within the Mawa community.
Yeah, it really made us feel like it wasn't just us who understood what was happening. Yeah. So that was very positive. And then we also covered your election. It was a special election, I think, in 2018.
Yes.
And now what are we up to? Is it your first re-election or your second?
This one will be my 3rd term.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right. So you won a special election, then you ran...
In 2021.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So this is now 3rd time around.
Yes.
Getting tired or?
No, not yet. Okay. God hasn't told me to relax yet, so I'm still running.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that one time we last met that you're waiting for a signal and you're not there yet. You're waiting for
That's amazing. Hopefully you'll keep the energy up.
So assuming that hopefully the election is going to be a smooth one, a good one for you, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, we know your history. Certainly you actually live in one of our core areas. And just we'll shut up and let's hear a little bit about Anthony Cureton. So.
Born and raised in the full, progressive, fine community of Inglewood. Have to do that sales pitch. lifelong resident. Wow. Went to school for a minute, came back, decided to join the police department. Did 25 years of service there.
History of police, any family, any aunts, uncles, or fathers?
I had an uncle in South Carolina who's the chief of police in Lincoln, South Carolina. My brother was a New York City officer. He retired in 2014 like myself.
And you didn't go to New York City, did you?
No, that's too much work.
Okay.
Then I had a cousin who worked for the MTA. Mm-hmm. So in the northeast part, it's just the 3 of us who got in law enforcement. In the South, we had more family members. Mm-hmm. So I have a lovely wife, 2 young ladies. Yeah. Thank God, both college graduate. One's currently in med school. She's the smartest one in the house, needless to say.
Wow.
And serving as a sheriff, as you know, for 6 years. I was an adjunct professor, at Ramapo College from 2015 to 2018, which I enjoyed that immensely.
What would you teach?
Social issues, race in law enforcement. So,
did you enjoy and I know you probably like the teaching aspect. I could see you enjoying that. Did you enjoy like the preparation, the research, the preparing curriculum, that kind of thing?
Yeah, because it was pretty much it was driven to the point we need to get to meet the obligations or the objective of the class. But I had a whole bunch of leeway, so I can extract information from this community, and bring it all together, and it worked well. The hard adjustment was, I keep forgetting those youngsters were about 20, 30 years younger than me.
Didn't have the experience. They didn't have the history that you had. Also.
Oh no, I remember sitting in class one day speaking about racism. Actually, you remember Archie Bunker? And
of course,
all those. And,
they don't even know who Archie Bunker is.
Right. I'm sitting there talking for a good half an hour, and there was just one soul that raised his hand and said, "Professor, who and what are you talking about?"
Wow.
So I had to start showing video clips.
But that must be a moment where you're like, oh, I'm old.
Yes. So, but that was kind of a special moment for me. So,
did you succeed? Any of those students go into law enforcement?
We hiring one next week.
Wow.
And then a couple others, they chose to go to the law enforcement profession. Some went on the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot were social workers, and I have 2 interns that came back into jail working for us. Well, excuse me, the Bergen County Correctional Rehabilitation Center. We changed the name this year.
Yeah, can you tell us about that? You mentioned that we last spoke that the jail is no longer the jail. Let's actually.
Is that's the one on Main Street in Hackensack?
Yes.
But the jail there's a new name for it. It's not a jail.
Correctional
Sheriff, tell us
Center.
About it.
Yeah. Of course, historically, NAACP, really focusing on the jail culture from my time teaching about it. But when I got here, I served as a public information officer initially, but I went to the jail. I was offered another opportunity. And that's when I embraced the jail culture a lot. That's when I understood that, they've been arrested, they've been incarcerated, but there's other opportunities for them. And that was to education within the jail, getting their GED, resume preparation, going out and getting books in the community just to bring back for them to have the opportunity to read. Then, the reality is the county jail then is transitional. So either you're going to take the long run and go down to the state for some extended period of time, or you do a year, 2 years with us. But when it's time for you to go back in the community, what are you doing? So the thought process, we're not going to let you go out empty-handed. So you don't want you to continue in this wave of crime. So we're going to allow you to get your GED. If you have a drug problem, we're going to allow you to participate in that drug recovery center, forklift license, culinary.
Tell us about that. You mentioned a culinary program, and I think it was another program, or a driving program also?
Yes, CDL license. Mm-hmm. We're in the process of getting the gentlemen trained up to do that. The culinary program started in July. Far as I know, up in the Northeast, we're like one of the first to have done this. So we work with Airmark. Airmark provides us instructors. It's like a 7 to 10 week program, that upon completion you get certified as a food handler. Mm-hmm. So there
you can go into any food service.
Serve safe, all that. Yeah, great.
And then we're researching. Jersey offers $2,500. I think that's still the cost. Bonding coverage for whoever gets that job. So you're more likely to have that person to come in your business and work because of that. So these are some of the courses we take, and that was the premise for saying, you know what, let's change the stigma. If I was in jail, which I was not, if I was in jail and I had kids, would I want my kids to say, hey, my father's in jail, or my father's in rehabilitation or corrections? Small difference, but the messaging at least helped the kid who's growing up. So that was the premise of changing that.
Actually, I never realized something when you said that. The county jail, no one's there for more than a year or two. It's seen always as a transitory type thing.
Yes, most cases, depending, of course, on the severity of it, about 3 years is the average, 2 to 3 years before they either go to the state or they get time served and released.
And is that different from a county lockup where it's just overnight?
One and the same.
It's the same place.
Okay.
Same
place, yeah.
So there are people there who are short term.
Yeah, they'll get arrested for something small, come in. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with bail reform.
Right.
And so it's just a quick turnaround.
Okay. Yeah.
Just last question, and we'll move on, is recidivism, repeat offenders? Like, is it like, are you seeing, like, if you're giving them some of these kind of, if you're offering these kind of rehab opportunities, are you seeing less repeat offenders, or is that just that's a hard nut to crack? Really,
or is it too early to tell?
It's still kind of too early to tell. They started bail reform in 2017. We see back then you saw a lot of repeat offenders when it came to the drugs, but you see more now because now it's determined or said to be a sickness. So there's a constant turnaround. But with that, we started what we call Path Forward, which is a vehicle we had go out and try to provide information for those who are addicted to drugs, opioids, and so forth. And we just signed on actually a partner with Hope One. It was essentially the same thing, but it's a county initiative throughout under health services. And we're also signing on with Care Plus. So hopefully collectively together we can address this issue.
I mean, Care Plus as a for-profit is going to come in and work with the correctional center.
We'll have partnership, redirection folks there. So we get a little taste of everything. The mental health aspect, of course, all connected with, of course, drug usage. So we're trying to have this relationship together.
And this is all your initiative, right? You brought it forward.
The Path Forward was one of the initial initiatives I came in with. Hope One, it's a statewide. Started, I believe, in either Atlantic City or Morris County. Either or, but it spread out and gave everybody the opportunity to get on board. So it was like, okay, we have this wheel. Let's put the second wheel on. Let's see if we can work together.
Interesting.
Okay, so I guess I would now focus a little more on the what we as an editor and publisher of a local Jewish newspaper have been seeing and have what we've contacted the sheriff's office about over the last year. And really that's been the sort of alarming rise in anti-Semitic harassment and the likes of which none of us have ever seen in our lifetimes, which is lucky because we're adults at this point, but our children are younger. So they're going to grow up with, knowing what hate is and what harassment is and, why they put a baseball cap over their kippah or why I no longer have a menorah on my car as a bumper sticker. But I guess, can you tell me how you've seen that the year since around this time last year? What are the concerns looking like? Are they different? Is the community in touch with you more often?
Community is still on heightened alert, obviously. The conversations I've had, and we have Rabbi Joel Freeman, who we have constant contact with, Rabbi Frankel, constant contact with, and essentially, there's always the phone calls. We have twice a year a security briefing. We have one actually tomorrow at 10:30.
Right, I've covered the one before the high holidays, I think, before. Yeah.
And of course, chiefs or whatever office they have are invited to the forum, provided calendars, let everybody know what to expect during this time. But we took it a step further because following October 7th of last year, we wanted to make sure everybody knew they were getting checked on. And of course, access into the synagogues on that Saturday, on your Sabbath, was difficult, but we came up with the door handles. And we'll come in, put it on your door, let you know we're checking on you at the time. But it also comes with a QR code. You scan the QR code, and then you can provide us information about the individual, their residence, and so forth. Reason being, if we had to send out a mass notification, now we have everybody's email address. That's just one way. We also have our Sheriff app, which you can provide instant notification. And I want to make this public service announcement that people should download the app.
Okay.
And,
the Sheriff app.
Yes.
And is it
Apple and Google?
Okay, we're gonna find it.
Sheriff app,
we'll put it in the show notes or something. Okay.
So, and we're still staying on top of, as well as law enforcement throughout the county. Everybody's doing increased patrol and maintaining the patrol on the various areas. So, Mr. Manny Klein, who I've come to have a relationship over the past couple of years, he wants to get involved for us, even establishing more protocol, so we can have that actual lifetime communication, God forbid something happened on that Sabbath. So that's being put in place right now. I know we have our security vendors, or the synagogues have their security vendors, and we're working hand in hand with them.
Yeah, I know we've felt the support of extended patrols, especially during the holiday seasons. and we hope that serves as a deterrent as well.
Do you feel like resources are being stretched? Is it at a point? Because I know I'm seeing I'm seeing some of your cars. Actually, I think you have a nephew.
Yes.
With the I didn't tell you this, but I'm walking in my shul a few weeks ago, and there's a fellow with the Cureton name who looked a little bit like you, and I assumed it was your son. By the way, I gave him a hug. I said, "Oh," he said, "No, that's my uncle."
That's nice.
But my point is, we're seeing a lot of these cars. It's not just the security vendors, but we're seeing you're actually deploying your officers in front of the school. I mean, I can't imagine. There's so many synagogues. There's so many. I'm like, how can you guys be doing this? There's got to be a stretch.
We have anywhere between 6 to 8 officers on the road covering the county as a whole, but they also go get a spreadsheet of all the synagogues and all the house of worships, and that's part of their regular passage. Make sure you stop, say hi, and that's that constant patrol, just to have that presence there. And try to break the timing of it up, because typically in law enforcement, if I know you come in every hour, then it becomes they're the pattern there, and there may be a problem. So
you're saying patterns are a problem. Yeah, interesting. But you said it on patrol, but a lot of their cars are they're sitting there for. I mean, they're like sighted there. I mean, they're assigned to that synagogue for like the TNA police, the local police departments are doing patrols. But to me, it's amazing that you're able to kind of offer that kind of coverage.
Sometimes I leave it to the discretion of the officer. So
yeah. And we're also pleased that Bergen County is one of the communities that has a very strong relationship with the other statewide and federal agencies.
Yes, we do.
So could you talk a little bit about the resources available at your fingertips should we need them? Hopefully we never will, but things like the rapid response that we saw in Jersey City, stuff like that.
In Bergen, we do have a rapid response team, and we have one on the southern and northern portion of Bergen County that pretty much respond to anything that's considered of a high critical nature. Constant roaming throughout the county. We also have the RDF, but that's in partnership with the Police Chiefs Association, where if there's a case of mobilization, that's additional resources. Officers are trained on rapid response, so that's additional resources. Along working with the prosecutor's office, they have their cybercrime unit and intel unit, and we all receive that same communication that is disseminated to all of us. In addition, we're getting more LPR license plate readers, which is a godsend in solving crimes. I must give a shout out to Congressman Josh Gottheimer, because he was able to get us a $925,000 grant, in which we purchased cameras to put throughout the county.
Yeah. I just saw New York City announce that there are new initiatives going after ghost cars. I'm sure you're familiar with it.
Yes.
I'm sure we have the same problem in our area too. Ghost cars. Yeah.
We've been fortunate; it hasn't been something on the rise. But you would think so close to New York, but we haven't had a situation where we identified that on a regular. So
I'm saying, but those license plate readers will flag those cars, right?
We'll flag those cars.
Yeah. Okay. Cars with warrants, what the different things associated with that. Interesting. Okay.
And other state resources like the Department of Homeland Security and the Secret Service or whoever other provides sort of national surveillance and things like that.
Yeah, once a week they have a meeting down in Newark, and they call it a ComStat meeting. So we all come together, we all communicate. Let each other know what's going on in their various agencies. So it's a constant line of communication. And from my time, I started in '89 to now, we have any information that happened outside the state, within the state, that is instantly sent out to all the departments. So I'll be sitting at home, I'll get a message knowing what's going on within the county as well as the states. And usually those high targeted crimes. So,
yeah. It's good to have more communication rather than less.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. So what are some of your highlights of the year? Maybe some of the good things that have happened in your offices.
The constant good thing is expanding on our relationship with the community. One of the driving forces I had, we had the Jewish community, Muslim community, Black community, Hispanic community. we can all find a way to coexist. And as you said, communication is critical with that. So that was one of the driving forces that we trying to implement throughout the department, to understand you serve and protect, but you also have to relate. And relating is understanding each other's culture, and then you can understand why people may respond in certain ways. So once that collectively come together, we can have a safer community that way. I mean, a lot of folks don't know, Bergen is considered one of in the top 10, I'll use that note, one of the most safest counties in the top 10 in the nation.
It's amazing.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. I've always felt very safe.
And it's actually amazing because we're in essence we're a bedroom community to New York City. We're really close. In essence, we are like we're an urban area, or almost urban area, and you'd think we'd see some more of that spill over a little bit into Bergen County, but I guess not.
Well, not to be biased, Jersey has the best law enforcement. We have the best laws on gun control, and I think the officers in Bergen County are a little more protective of their community.
Interesting.
And considering you have all the major arteries coming through Bergen County, and we can still keep crime at a low, I think that speaks volumes to the law enforcement community.
You were a police officer in your own community, your own home community. That's got to be different. In New York City, for example, most of those guys don't live in the communities they serve, I think. So I could be wrong, though. But
it was a blessing, a godsend for me to be able to work in my town, because you build a lot of relationships. You might be too young. I don't know if you remember Andy Griffin's show.
Yeah, a little bit.
We're a little young, but not.
He was the town police chief, right? Yeah.
And he knew everybody. He resolved a lot of situations just because knowing everybody. For me, growing up in Inglewood, school there and playing sports and everything, my father had a business in town. The relationship had grown. So it's kind of easy when you can walk down the street and know one person who will give you the opportunity to meet all the neighbors that come in and build that type of relationship. And I still live in Inglewood, so it's kind of hard to escape it.
Do you feel like you've made Bergen County kind of like the way you relate to Inglewood too?
To a certain degree.
Is it common for police, for members of the police to live in the town? Is that common or uncommon?
I think it's changing times. Most individuals try to get away from their communities. There's a small percentage that still stay in their communities.
Okay.
So,
yeah,
they don't want to get too personal. Don't want to know everyone's business.
Right. I mean, it's challenging.
Dirty laundry, etc.
It's challenging as myself, 21-year-old, going in a household where I knew the parents.
You went to high school with
and trying to resolve a situation.
Wow.
But, you find the right temperament. And I was so fortunate to have senior officers that kind of broke me in terms of dealing with those various situations. So.
Interesting.
So I guess I don't know. Maybe last question or two questions. But what is your? I know you're campaigning for re-election, but what does that look like? And who do you get to meet? Who do you spend time with? And I guess what are your goals? Do you have any? Do you have I don't even know if a significant opposition. I don't even know if anyone what their goals are, how they are different from you, how you distinguish yourself.
I haven't really heard his goals
okay.
But I think the track record we have. And I usually tell everybody, Google me and you'll find out all the things we've done. You'll see we've been consistent with the whole community relations. And I believe so much in that as a foundation, it kind of opens the door for everything else. Yeah. I believe in that simple statement, see something, say something. Yeah. And I try to drive that home. I've always said, serve and protect, arresting, that's a given. It's going to happen. But you still have to do serving, protecting, arresting, and, again, changing people's life. So, and then a lot of that has to do with understanding. I mean, we recall the George Floyd, and we saw America come together. Law enforcement and everybody come together for a situation none of us expect to happen or should have to deal with that. So those are some of the driving things, the social justice aspect, having the opportunity to, like I said, Rabbi Joel Freeman. I've known him going on 10 years. And to have a constant daily conversation with him, relationship, is great. So just to have that opportunity to reach out to all the communities is one of the platforms we have. Now, other things we've done, if I may,
Sure.
Within the jail, going back to that, providing officers the necessary tools they have. Typically in jail life, an officer get accused of, in a week's time, can be accused of 2 or 3 different infractions that never occurred. You have the camera, but you don't have any sound. So we put body cameras on all these corrections officers. And that have reduced an average of, let's say, 300 internal affairs cases. We're below 200.
And the officers, they're happy with it. They want the body camera.
Yeah, initially it was a little trepidation, but now they're like lulled for it. They're like, please, thank you. And that's an extra part of the stress that's taken off of them.
That's amazing. Actually, I never know. I thought police generally are not fans of them.
No. I mean, after time, people kind of understand, okay, the way society is changing, it's better to have an extra witness on your side.
Of course.
Right.
And in the jail, they found that to be so appreciative because, again, one more thing you don't have to deal with.
Absolutely.
So,
makes sense.
And that was actually post George Floyd. There were complaints were starting to come up on poor. So I said, no, we're not going to deal this. We're not going to have these false allegations against my officers. Spend the money. We're going to get the cameras, and we did.
Do sheriff's deputies wear body cameras on patrol as well?
As well.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, corrections and all the personnel on the road, they wear body cameras.
Actually, Elizabeth, I heard on a few days ago, the sheriff, I didn't realize how big your office is. He oversees almost 1,000 staff, I think, right?
Yeah.
700, approximately 700.
Officers, like
Officers and civilians.
And then how does it break down? Also the 70 towns inside Bergen County have police forces as well.
Yes.
So how do they interact with the sheriff? What is their role? When do they call in the sheriff?
Well, sheriffs are like considered force multipliers. So staffing in most departments are really not at full staffing level, economy-wise and so forth. So it's like a great system where we'll have 8 guys on the road. If you need us, we'll come support you. But for the sheriff's office, it's beyond that and more. We have the K9. We have the bomb squad. We have SWAT team. And we Bureau of Criminal Investigation, which goes out on all crime scene, in which we did get recognized this year as one of 2 best crime scenes in the state of New Jersey. So along with the triple accreditation we maintain with our hospital and mental health in the jail and the Police Chiefs Association. So the jail is pretty much running great. The goal of the administration is to look for more things to really put us in that elite status. Of course, I'm biased, 21 sheriffs. We have the best sheriff's office in the state of New Jersey.
Yeah.
So. Definitely.
Well, and hold on, wait 1 second. The last thing is, I think you took over the Passaic jail, correct?
That's correct, yes.
I mean, the Passaic jail closed, I think,
It
and
closed.
they transferred over like half of their, or a little more than half, right? All to Bergen, I think?
We took about 50 of their corrections officers. We average about 500 to 600 inmates that we brought over. And County of Bergen actually made out because $21 million is in our coffer revenue.
Because of that.
Yes.
Without having to go crazy on the staff. I mean, you only needed to add incrementally. I mean, you didn't have to start a new jail, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah, we had enough bed space.
You had the capacity at that point.
Yeah, because bail reform came in, and when you had the immigration, when that's dissolved throughout the state, we lost 300 or 400 inmates, and from there we had a marginal number in the jail. But we needed
people were deported.
Yes,
or
released or gone to other locations. So we had ample amount of space in the jail.
And we have a low crime rate, generally speaking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. All right.
Any last words?
Good.
Any final statement?
Not to be biased, but you got the greatest sheriff's office in Bergen County. I lead, but the workers do all the work, and they realize the importance of taking care of our community. And we got a great relationship with the Police Chiefs Association. So who has it better than us in Bergen County?
I love it. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, we're happy to have you here and happy to always have your partnership. And we know you can count on us and we can count on you. And
good luck to you, Sheriff. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Truly appreciate it.
Thanks for being with us on the Jewish Link Pitch Meeting podcast. If you would like to participate or be in touch with us in any way, please email us at editor@jewishlink.news and follow us and find our podcast wherever you find podcasts.